Today we're diving deep into the world of fishing rigs, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which rig to use in every single fishing situation. Whether you're targeting bass in thick cover, chasing walleye in deep water, or trying to land that trophy catfish, there's a specific rig designed to give you the absolute best chance of success. Before we jump into the technical stuff, let me tell you why understanding rigs is absolutely crucial. Your choice of rig determines how your bait moves through the water, where it sits in the water column, how natural it looks to fish, and whether you'll feel those subtle bites that less experienced anglers miss completely. Get the rig right, and you're halfway to a successful day on the water. Get it wrong, and you might as well be fishing with your hands. Lastly, if you love fishing or enjoy fishing content, it would mean a lot if you hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing and helps me keep making videos like this. Anyways, let's start with the absolute foundation of fishing rigs. The basic bobber rig might seem elementary, but don't let its simplicity fool you. This setup has been putting fish on the table for generations, and there's a very good reason why. The bobber rig consists of a bobber or float attached to your main line, with a hook and weight below it. The beauty lies in its versatility and the visual feedback it provides. When you're using a bobber rig, you're essentially suspending your bait at a specific depth while keeping it visible and active. The bobber serves multiple purposes. First, it acts as a strike indicator, showing you exactly when a fish takes your bait. Second, it keeps your bait at the perfect depth consistently. Third, it allows you to drift your bait naturally with current or wind, covering more water than a stationary presentation. The key to bobber rig success is proper setup. Your weight should be heavy enough to cock the bobber properly, but not so heavy that it pulls the bobber under. The distance between your bobber and hook determines your fishing depth, and this needs to match where the fish are holding. In shallow water, keep it short. In deeper water, you might need several feet between your bobber and bait. Moving into more sophisticated territory, let's talk about the Carolina rig. This setup revolutionized bass fishing and opened up entirely new ways to present soft plastic baits. The Carolina rig features a sliding weight system that allows your bait to move independently from your sinker, creating an incredibly natural presentation that drives fish absolutely crazy. Here's how it works. Your main line runs through a sliding weight, usually a bullet sinker or egg sinker. Below the weight, you attach a swivel, then tie a leader of lighter line to the other end of the swivel. Your hook goes on the end of that leader. When you cast out and work this rig, the weight hits bottom while your bait floats above it, moving naturally with current and your rod movements. The Carolina rig excels in situations where you need to cover water while keeping your bait near the bottom. It's absolutely deadly for bass relating to structure, but it works equally well for walleye, catfish, and other bottom-oriented species. The key advantage is that fish can pick up your bait without immediately feeling the weight of your sinker, leading to more solid hookups. Moving on to the Texas rig. This deserves special attention because it might be the most versatile rig ever devised for soft plastic fishing. This weedless presentation allows you to fish the nastiest cover imaginable without constantly getting hung up. The setup is deceptively simple, but the technique behind it is pure genius. With a Texas rig, your weight sits directly against your bait, creating a compact profile that slips through cover like nothing else. The hook point gets buried in the soft plastic, making the entire presentation virtually snag-proof. When a fish bites down, the soft plastic compresses, exposing the hook point for a solid hook set. What makes the Texas rig so effective is its ability to imitate natural prey perfectly. A Texas rigged worm looks exactly like a real worm moving along the bottom. A Texas rigged creature bait mimics crawfish or other bottom dwellers with incredible realism. The weight-forward design also gives you excellent casting accuracy and distance. But here's where it gets really interesting. The drop shot rig completely changed how we think about vertical presentations. This finesse technique suspends your bait above the bottom at a precise depth, making it absolutely irresistible to pressured fish that have seen every other presentation imaginable. The drop shot rig turns traditional thinking upside down. Instead of your weight being above your hook, the weight hangs below it. Your hook ties directly to the main line using a specialized knot that keeps it perpendicular to the line. The weight, usually a cylindrical drop shot weight, hangs at the bottom of your rig. This setup creates a presentation that's virtually impossible to achieve with other rigs. Your bait hovers motionless at exactly subtle rod movements, create incredibly natural action. Fish the depth where fish are holding, while see a bait that appears to be suspended in midwater, moving naturally but not going anywhere. It's like ringing a dinner bell. The drop shot rig shines in clear water situations where fish can get a good look at your bait. It's also deadly effective for targeting fish holding at specific depths, like bass suspended over deep structure, or walleye relating to thermoclines. The key is keeping your movements subtle and letting the bait do the work. Now let's shift gears completely and talk about the slip sinker rig, also known as the fish finder rig. This setup is the go-to choice for serious catfish anglers, but it works incredibly well for any species that tends to pick up bait and swim away with it before committing to swallowing it. The slip sinker rig allows fish to take your bait and move off without feeling immediate resistance from your weight. The sinker slides freely on your main line, stopped by a swivel or bead above your leader and hook. When a fish picks up your bait, it can swim away while your sinker stays put on the bottom. This rig excels for patient fishing with natural baits. Cut bait for catfish, live bait for pike, or chunks of fish for big lake trout all benefit from this presentation. The key is letting fish run with the bait before setting the hook, giving them time to commit fully to the meal. The weight selection for slip sinker rigs makes all the difference in the world. Too heavy, and you'll spook fish when they try to move your bait. Too light, and your rig won't hold bottom in current or wind. The sweet spot varies by conditions, but generally, you want just enough weight to maintain bottom contact without creating excessive resistance when fish take your bait. Moving into more specialized territory, the three-way rig opens up fishing opportunities that other setups simply can't match. This rig uses a three-way swivel as its foundation, creating multiple attachment points that let you present bait in ways that would be impossible otherwise. One line goes to your rod, another to your weight, and the third to your hook and leader. The genius of the three-way rig lies in how it separates your weight from your bait completely. Your sinker drops straight down while your bait extends out horizontally, creating a natural presentation that mimics how bait fish actually move in current. This setup is absolutely deadly for walleye fishing, especially when you're drifting or trolling along structure. What makes the three-way rig particularly effective is how it handles different current speeds and bottom compositions. In faster current, the rig keeps your bait off bottom while maintaining contact through your weight. Over rocky or snaggy bottom, your sinker can hang up without affecting your bait presentation. It's like having the best of both worlds in one setup. The Lindy rig deserves special mention because it revolutionized live bait fishing for walleye and other species. This walking sinker system uses a specialized weight design that allows your rig to move naturally along bottom while keeping your bait in the strike zone. The Lindy weight has a unique shape that prevents it from rolling and helps it crawl over obstacles. With a Lindy rig, you're essentially dragging live bait behind a walking weight that maintains bottom contact without getting constantly snagged. The weight design creates a rocking motion as it moves along bottom, which translates into natural movement for your bait. Walleye following this presentation see what appears to be an injured minnow struggling along the bottom. The key to Lindy rig success is speed control. Move too fast and your bait skips unnaturally above bottom. Move too slow and you lose the action that triggers strikes. The perfect speed varies by conditions and fish mood, but generally you want just enough movement to keep the weight walking along bottom while your bait trails behind naturally. Let's talk about the Ned rig, a finesse presentation that has absolutely dominated bass fishing in recent years. This simple setup pairs a light jig head with a small, straight tail soft plastic, creating a presentation that even the most pressured bass find irresistible. The Ned rig proves that sometimes less really is more. The magic of the Ned rig lies in its subtle action and compact profile. The light jig head causes the bait to stand up off bottom at a slight angle, while the buoyant plastic creates a quivering action with minimal rod movement. This presentation perfectly mimics small bottom-dwelling creatures like gobies, young crawfish, or aquatic worms. What makes the Ned rig so deadly is how it triggers bites from fish that refuse everything else. The small profile and natural action appeal to bass in all conditions, but it really shines in tough situations. Cold water, high pressure, heavily fished waters, these are all scenarios where the Ned rig consistently outproduces more aggressive presentations. The technique for fishing a Ned rig is all about restraint. Subtle rod movements, long pauses, and patience are the keys to success. Cast it out, let it settle, then use gentle lifts and pauses to work it along bottom. The strikes are often so subtle, you'll barely feel them, making this rig perfect for developing your sensitivity and feel for what's happening underwater. Now we need to address the spreader rig, a multi-hook setup that maximizes your chances of connecting with fish. This rig uses a spreader bar or wireframe to position multiple hooks at different distances from your main line, allowing you to present several baits simultaneously or target different depths with one cast. Spreader rigs excel in situations where you're targeting schooling fish or want to determine what bait fish prefer on a given day. Bottom fishing for fluke, targeting stripers in open water, or fishing for panfish in structure all benefit from this multi-bait approach. You can use different baits on each hook to see what's working best. High-low rigs represent another multi-hook approach that's particularly effective for bottom fishing. This rig positions one hook higher in the water column than the other, allowing you to target fish at different levels simultaneously. It's incredibly effective for species that might be suspended just off bottom, or for situations where you're not sure exactly where fish are holding. The high-low rig setup uses a main line with 2 dropper loops at different heights. Each loop gets a hook and leader, with the lower hook typically getting a longer leader than the upper one. This prevents tangling while ensuring both hooks fish effectively. A sinker at the bottom keeps everything in position. What makes high-low rigs particularly deadly is their ability to present bait at the exact depths fish are using. The lower hook targets bottom huggers like fluke or cod, while the upper hook catches fish that are holding slightly higher in the water column. It's like having 2 different fishing setups working simultaneously. The chicken rig takes the multi-hook concept even further, using multiple hooks on long leaders to create a spread that covers maximum water. This rig gets its name from the way the multiple leaders resemble chicken feet when deployed. It's particularly popular for surf fishing and targeting species that school in large numbers. Setting up a chicken rig requires careful attention to leader lengths and hook spacing. Each hook needs its own leader of different length, preventing tangling while ensuring all hooks fish effectively. The longest leaders go on the hooks closest to your weight, while shorter leaders work better for hooks higher up the line. The effectiveness of chicken rigs lies in their ability to present multiple baits across a wide area. Fish approaching your rig encounter baits at different depths and distances, increasing your chances of triggering strikes. It's particularly effective when fish are scattered or when you're trying to locate schools in open water. There you have it, folks. Almost every major fishing rig that serious anglers rely on to consistently put fish in the boat. From the simple bobber rig that started most of our fishing journeys to specialized setups like the chicken rig that can handle multiple species at once, each of these presentations has its place in your fishing arsenal. Don't try to master all of these rigs at once. Pick 2 or 3 that match your local fishing conditions and target species, then practice them until they become second nature. Once you've got those dialed in, add another rig to your repertoire. Before you know it, you'll become a master, thanks to this video.